Hello, this is Bino. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to go over everything you need to know about MRS/DDRT. Alright, let's get to it. Here we have one of the most basic MRS systems. But back when I started back in 1989. We didn't really call it an MRS system or a DDRT. This was just your climbing system. I understood it to be a closed loop system. Let me explain what a closed loop system is. So you would throw your rope over a branch, and this is you would set up your knot. You would use a bowline to tie to a clip, and then you would in your bridge you would put a figure 8. Back in the day, a figure 8 was to signify that it was your bridge, just in case you had to do emergency rescue. Someone could cut it at this point and bring the person down. Anyhow, that was old school. This is a taut line hitch. You would either use a taut line hitch or a Blake's hitch as your friction hitch. So you would bring it over, connect to you, and here's your bridge. Now this would be the loop system, and now it's closed because you got your friction hitch and you've got your tail and you tied your knot. So this hitch system is actually an open hitch system. It's open because you'll need to have a stopper in order to make sure it stays intact. So what happens if this tail were to come loose, this could pop open on you. So the theory behind this, or actually the way this works, is you connect this to your saddle, and this line here, you will pull on this, and you would do your hip or body thrust, and you pull your line up. And every time you advance, you go higher in the tree, and every time you put your weight on it, it locks you in. So real cool system, great to learn on. A few things that were tough on: if you had a tree with rough bark, there's friction here. You know, a smoother bark tree, better. Rough bark tree, harder to climb. And having a taut line here is where your friction, and this is your support, your life support. This is what keeps you up. So real simple system, don't need a lot of gear, just a clip, a rope, and a saddle. Here we have a split tail system. I remember when this came out, it was the greatest thing. It's just the same as the regular system, but you add an extra line. So the setup's the same. You use your loop system to go over a branch. The difference is that on a split tail, now we're going to have to use termination knots. So there's about 3 different ones that you can use: a button line, anchor hitch, and a double fisherman's bend. Now those were important because on a termination, if you used a regular bowline, that could slip out on you. So it would be important, especially you're using carabiners, these things could roll. This new added line is a split tail. So a lot of people would have different colors so you could distinguish your split tail from your climbing line. You would use the same knot. You could use Blake's taut line. And I even think some people use pressic hitches. So the theory is all the same. The great difference was that with this, instead of having to untie, you could throw your line around something and then clip it back to your belt. Made your process going up a tree great, a heck of a lot better. And then further on, people started using in this loop system, because so now this is not a closed loop system, it's an open with a split tail. So a split tail is considered an open, but you lock it in, so now it's closed. You would throw a friction saver up as high as you could, and now you would lose friction on your loop system. So it made it a lot easier for you to climb. So here's a split tail system. And here we have a split tail system using an eye-to-eye pressic cord. Same concept as a regular split tail, except this one now has a closed hitch system. So in the other way, where you did the Blake's or taut line, you have a stopper knot, but these eyelets connect back to the carabiner, and now it's locked. There's no way these will come undone and slip out. So this system was a great system. These knots, there's multiple different knots that you can use. They are a lot more free moving than the Blake's, the taut line, and even the pressic. Same concept. You'll pull down on your line, except for this. Normally on the other split tail system, it was a longer length. So on a system like this, you would grab above your knot, and then you'll tend underneath. When you tend underneath, it moves your hitch up. You still do the body thrusting situation where you throw your hips on the tree and then pull the line and advance upward. It has the same situation on top where there's friction, but you could always set a friction hitch if you needed to. This was just a little bit more advanced because the different knots that you can use and the ease of taking it on and off. This system's been a great system. Its name's changed quite a bit. I think about 2012 when the SRT system came about, that's when the name started to change. So they started calling it DDRT, double rope system, but it's still a single rope that's over a line, so it's not double rope. Then they decided to change the name to better suit what it does. So this system is a moving rope system where your entire rope moves when you go up or down the line. So it moves at the top, it moves at the friction point. It's a moving rope system. This system's great. It has so many advancements. The first being having the first type of split tail where you had a Blake's or a taut line or a prusik knot that you could use. The next thing was having the eye-to-eye French prusik hitches where, I mean, we've done lots of videos on the different types of knots you can do. All of them have great aspects, so people might have, have a lot more choices of what knot they can use. A lot of the different pulleys that you can use. There's a hitch climber pulley and a double eye Beckett pulley. Every advancement that you have on this system, it always made it better. And having a friction saver to add to the top is another thing that just makes the system better. This was everything you needed to know about the MRS system. We're going to create a link. We're having a playlist on the description below. It's going to show a lot of our videos that have different parts of learning the MRS. If you're a beginner, it's something you'd like, and even if you're a guy that's been in the trade a long time, you might pick something up you'll enjoy. Anyhow, comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you like what we do, and by all means, share our video with your friends. Take care. We'll see you next time.